Alright, Title 40, CFR Subpart A, Overview and Hackability, 1039-1. Does this part apply for my engines? 40, CFR 1039-1. Does this apply for my engines? 10,039-1. Does this part, 1039-1. Does this part apply for my engines? A. The regulation in this part 1039 apply for all new compression ignition non-road engines defined in 1039-801 except for 1000 and 1039-5. This part 1039 applies as follows. This part 1039 applies for all engines subject to emission standards specified in some part B of this part starting with model years noted in the following table. As described in 10,039-1002, some of the engines below 19 kilowatts may not be subject to emission standards within this part of the 2010 model year. As described in 1039-102, that some of the engines in 1956 kilowatt and power category may not be subject to the emission standard within the part until 2012 of this model year. If you use the provision 1039-104A to certify that the engine emission standards of this part of the before the model years in Table 1 section, all of the requirements part apply with those engines. 3. Engines originally meeting Terrier 1, Terrier 2, or Terrier 3 standards specified in Appendix 1 of this part remain subject to standards in Subpart B of this part. This includes uncertified engines that meet the standard under Title 40 CFR 1068-265. Affected engines remain subject to recall provisions specified in Title 40 CFR Part 1068. Subpart F, throughout the useful life corresponding with original certification, also tamper the defect, defeat the defective prohibitions continue to apply with the engines in Title 40 CFR 1068-101. This part applies to 1039 apply with the compression ignition engines as well with the provision paragraph C of the section 1039-801 apply with the stationary engines before beginning January 1st, 2006. Provisions 1039-620 and 1039-801 apply the engine solely for the competition being January 1st, 2006. The definition of non-road engine, Title 40 CFR 1068-30 excludes certain engines used in stationary application. The application may be required in Title 40 CFR Part 60, Subpart 4 to comply with some of the provisions of this part. Otherwise, the engine only recall wired to comply with the requirements of the 1039-20. In addition, prohibited provisions of Title 40 CFR 1068-101 restrict the use of stationary engines for non-stationary purposes unless certified in some standards that would apply to certain non-road engines for the same model year. In certain cases, the regulation part 1039 apply for the engines above at or above 250 kilowatts that would otherwise be covered by Title 40 CFR 1048 and Title 40 CFR 1048-620 for the provision related to allowance. That was Title 40 CFR 1039. Does this part apply for my engines?